I'm quite confused. I didn't really expect this to be very good.
That's right, what I expected from this Alfa Romeo's first SUV for like 70 years is for it to look great, drive a bit ropey, and be built a lot ropey.
But actually, almost the opposite is really the case.
That's because it drives great, it feels like it's built properly.
Though I'll hedge my bets on that one and say time will tell.
But in my opinion, it looks a little bit bland, a bit frumpy. I mean, talking about a car's looks is always dangerous, and it's especially dangerous where an Alfa Romeo is concerned, as much danger as there can be in the comments section of a YouTube video. But I just don't think there's anything about this that really makes it stand out. Like, if you tab the number plate back to the middle and made the grille a bit wider, it could be Korean.
Which is not to disparage Korean SUV design in any way, shape or form. I think that stuff looks really good.
Rather, it's just to say that if you expect actual beauty from this thing, it's a disappointment. Looks like a fat me too. Fat me too.
But let's
skip to the good bit
and say that it makes up for that by being, I reckon, the most dynamically accomplished SUV you can buy today. Or certainly one of them. Like, I honestly don't see that you could get that much more enjoyment from driving a Porsche Macan, which is the benchmark for dynamic SUVs.
I mean, a Porsche is a Porsche, right? And the Macan is a bit more exciting than this. But honestly, you wouldn't believe how many feels this thing sends up from the wheels, through your backside and into your hands. Part of the reason for that is it's relatively low weight. It might look like a fat hatchback, but it's more a balloon than a medicine ball. Basically, you could fill this with a whole boy band and it would still weigh less than a Porsche Macan or a Range Rover Velar.
Some of that weight loss is carbon fibre and aluminium bits, but also a brake-by-wire system, which basically uses electricity as the messenger between the pedal and the brake discs. And because electricity is lighter than metal, that saves quite a lot of weight too. Though it does make the brakes feel a bit weird, a bit binary, funnily enough.
Anyways, another area in which the Stelvio trumps the Macan, in my view, is that it serves up its dynamism alongside genuine comfort.
It's not luxurious or anything ridiculous like that, but there's no excessive shake, there's no thumping into potholes, and there's just a general feeling of this being a many-trick pony. It's a very difficult thing to pull off.
See, my own semi-personal experience with Alfa Romeo is riddled with cliché. So back in '98, my dad got a 156 for his company car, a red one, with a 2.5 litre engine. Fast, looked amazing, sounded even better, just mint. We all loved it. The only thing that could really touch it was his Orion 1.6 injection gear. Not really. But the panel gaps let in more sunlight than Donald Trump's ears, and it actually broke itself one night when it was parked up. True story, my dad got up one morning for work, tried to reverse it off the drive and discovered that the steering column had snapped.
It's got to be getting better. Can it be as bad as what it was, can it?
But this thing, you look at it and it could almost be German. It's all spongy topped and sensibly designed and ergonomically appropriate for human beings. It's not a given in an Alfa. In fact, the driving position is brilliant. You sort of feel like you're hunkered down like in a sports car, but you're actually sat high up, so you get good visibility.
Best of both.
The only real complaint that I have is that the infotainment system isn't a touchscreen, which is only a couple of steps away from it having a cassette deck.
But I really want to come back to how this thing drives, better than most hatchbacks. The steering especially is near enough perfect in this application in that it's light, which is good for the around town stuff, but really responsive too, which is good for the fun times. It really gets the nose moving straight away. It feels like it needs half a turn lock to lock, but the other thing about that is that the turning circle sucks. First few times you try and park this thing, you'll probably miss the bay. Anyways, the upshot is that this fat hatch feels like a hot hatch. Whatever you throw at it, it's just planted like a seasoned boxer. It's just proper mint, genuinely enjoyable to drive without any of the normal SUV caveats.
That's because the two-wheel drive ones send power to the rear wheels, and the four-wheel drive ones, they have a rear bias, but not the sort that you need to be afraid of. Again, this feels like a grippy and well-balanced hot hatch, even with a diesel under the bonnet.
Which this one has.
As will yours probably. Because this being an Alfa Romeo of the big fat type, all of the engines are top-endy sort of stuff. And that means that even the basic diesel is packing 450 Newton meters of pulling torque, and that equates to a 0 to 62 time in the mid-7s, and it feels every bit that quick as well. It's all the power you need. And so the ability to exceed 50 miles per gallon in it feels like a boon? I want to say boon? Boon, is that a thing? Okay, boon. Boon. It's a boon. Boon.
The petrols will have more character, of course, say nothing of the Quadra one with the Ferrari type engine in it. But even the diesel is one of the more charming ones that you'll find. It doesn't sound nice, but it doesn't have that horrible rattly diesel thing that you normally associate with a mid-sized diesel engine. And it's quiet normally as well. The other thing with this is they all get the same ZF 8-speed automatic gearbox, which is a torque converter type rather than a super duper twin clutch one. Same sort of thing you'll find in a fancy car, and it gives you the sort of smoothness that you just can't get with a twin clutcher. It's not quite as razor sharp, but it's very quick to change still. It just means that when you're driving more slowly, it adds to that sense that this is a big, comfortable car. Plus, you get these min-fix paddle shifters that are made out of metal. Proper hefty when you pull them. And even once you've stopped using them, which you will fairly quickly once the novelty wears off, it's just really cool to reach over them when you want to indicate. Turn the wipers on.
I like to drive this car, as you can tell, but it's also practical and well priced for consumers. Plenty of rear leg room, decent headroom front and back, and the boot is a size big enough, as you can see by comparing it to the boot sizes of these similarly sized cars. Same goes for the prices, which look okay without getting into the whole minefield of what you'll actually pay for your car per month, which includes things like depreciation and other such factors that we really don't have time to get into in a YouTube video. And it also has stuff, and the base one is called Super, which is a nice name. And I seem to say this quite a lot now because it's increasingly true, but it really does, at the base level, have everything that you'll want or need. The leather, the alloys, the non-touchscreen infotainment, the parking sensors, all the way around, so you don't smash its fat body into something. The list literally goes on. Plus, because Alfa fetishizes its heritage at any given opportunity, on any given week, you'll be able to go to a dealer and see that there is a new Edizione. At the moment, it's these two. Whatever, like I said, you like it, you'll buy one. And actually, at this stage, I should probably say that these reviews don't exist in a vacuum. We have a super duper website that is much more detailed than I can be here. So if you click the link at the bottom of the review, you'll find all the consumery stuff that you need to know there. You know, I really thought that this Stelvio would be disappointing. Is it flawed? Of course it is. The quality and the cabin ambience and the general usability aren't really anywhere near as good as what you'd get in an Audi Q5 or a Volvo XC60. But this is cooler than those, and it is much more entertaining to drive.
Even when it's wet, like, it just still goes exactly where you want it to go. There's, see that? Oversteered a bit there as well, which is just absolutely amazing in a car like this.
I highly recommend you try one. So there you go, thanks for watching, and as this is the first video of 2019, Happy New Year. I hope it's amazing for you. Please, like I said before, go to the website for more detailed reviews of this and other cars, and I'll see you next week. Bye.
Oh, that's the parcel shelf rattling around there. Whoops. Took it out to put a big bit of furniture in this yesterday. Couldn't be bothered to put it back.